What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Stone Mountain 64 and welcome to a view from the mountain. Essentially my commentary style video where I'll give you guys my views, my opinions on something. In this case, it's going to be some tips and tricks, and they're from the mountain myself. There you go. This gameplay, absolutely remarkable. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it. It's pretty fast-paced. At the end, I kind of get more defensive, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But the reason is because I got a KEM strike, which if you guys haven't noticed or don't know about, it is actually getting 25 kills without dying in one consistent life with actual gun kills as well. Now, they had this with the MOAB back in Modern Warfare 3, and they had this as a nuke back in Modern Warfare 2 where it actually just completely ended the game. But in the Modern Warfare 2, you actually had to have the nuke streak on. In this case, if you guys aren't familiar with the Modern Warfare 3 MOAB, you actually don't even need to have it on. So as you can see, I have the UAV, the dog, and the sentry gun on. You'll see I actually started at 9 kills. I cut out the first. I died 6 times at the beginning as well, which I just decided to cut out, but I had 9 kills, and I get the kill, or the KEM, at 39 kills. And once I get towards the end, I get close. I've called in the dog, I've cycled through the dog about 4 or 5 times. It keeps saying I have a dog, but the dog doesn't go away till he dies, so I can't call in any more of the dogs to see me try and call it in. But anyways, I went through those like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, okay, I must be getting pretty close to this thing. I'm going to play a little bit more defensively, and you'll see I lock down this kind of area. At first, I was kind of roaming around. Then I kind of stay in this area just because I feel comfortable with it. We'll get A and C at one point, and then they're just going to be kind of spawning at B and around in those areas, so I can kind of figure that out, see where they're coming from, and manipulate it from there. But you'll see also, so I mentioned that I get from 9 to 39, so 5 of those kills I got with my either sentry gun or dog. Those didn't count towards it. So you'll see I go on a 30 streak, but it's only a 25 kill streak. So if you're curious in that sense, it is a 25 gun kill streak. And I believe it does work with grenades and things like that. In this case, I'm not running with anything. So that kind of gets me into my class setup and what I was running with. Now, the first couple days I was playing this, I didn't even realize that you can take off your pistol, you can take off your grenades, and get more points for your perks. You can put on more perks if you do that. So I took all of those things off because I don't use my grenades or stun grenades generally. And also the secondary, I'd rather just pick up a gun. In this case, I actually got pretty lucky. You saw me pick up this honey badger a little while ago, and I perfectly ran out of ammo, found the gun on the ground. Now, most cases, what I like to do is I'll just pick up a gun, and then as soon as you pick it up, just push Y, and it'll take like 0.1 seconds to pick up. It'll just put it as your secondary gun, and you can keep going. That's generally what I would prefer to do rather than carrying a secondary, especially because the pistols are so bad in this game. So, in terms of what guns I like to use, though, my favorite is, right now, it's been the AK, and there's a couple reasons for that. The main one, though, is because I don't need to use a red dot sight. Now, the Honey Badger also has pretty good iron sights. That's what I'm kind of talking about. But the thing is, the Honey Badger seems to have a lot of recoil for me. The AK has a lot of recoil as well, but it seems to be only at very long ranges that the recoil really hinders me. I can burst fire it and keep it pretty well, but the main thing, like I said, is having the good iron sights. All of the rest of the ones have a big circle around the freaking iron sight, which makes it very hard to use when you're aimed down sight to find new people to kill. Now, the reason I say this is because my favorite perk and what I highly recommend you guys use is Stalker. This comboed with Focus is unbeatable. You focus, that decreases the amount of sway that you have, as well as drops you from your flinch. So that is a no-brainer. You must use that, in my opinion, especially if you're going for some streaks, because if you get shot on, you flinch so much, it's almost impossible to get the kill. Or, if you're going up against somebody that you both hit first, you're going to be able to win the fight because you have Focus on. So that's going to allow you to keep that gunfight up. Now, that it works perfectly also because you don't sway, so while you're using Stalker, you're kind of constantly aimed down sight. As you can see, I'm aimed down sight a lot of the time and running around. That gives you a huge advantage because you're already aimed down sight when you come around that corner or when you go into that engagement. Now, this kind of makes it so quick draws either or. You don't necessarily need it. I wasn't using it in this case. But like I was saying, when you have the focus comboed with the stalker, you can keep that aim down sight without swaying around. So you can keep your accuracy right where you want it to be while you're walking around aim down sight. And great long range kill right there, even with the suppressor and with the honey badger. Love that one. I'm coming up on it right now. As you can see, look at that guy comes around there, and he led me to look over to the left right there. I don't know why that guy hadn't shot me. I don't know if he hadn't seen me, but there it is, dropping the KEM. So it'll actually change the map to kind of a reddish color. It doesn't actually destroy this one or really change any of the features. So I got a couple more kills after, so I'll let it run for a little bit longer and then show you guys my final score of the game. To come full circle with the gun though, the reason why I'm not using a red dot sight, since I know a couple of you guys are probably going to be asking that about the AK and the other assault rifles, the reason for that is because I'd rather use extended magazines, which is really crucial for myself. That allows you to really get into even 4 guns in this game, 4 gun kills in this game without having to reload in some cases, especially with the AK. And then, you know, using some other thing like the grip on the front. I'd rather have anything like that versus a red dot sight. If I can aim normally without the red dot sight using the AK, that puts me at a huge advantage and allows me to use other attachments to my gun without having to use the 3 points to put 3 attachments on. Plus, when you combo something like extended mags with sleight of hand, which has been banned from pretty much every other Call of Duty, they don't let you do that. This one they do, so that is pretty much unstoppable. You're always going to have ammo, and you're always going to have a ton of it ready for you to shoot. Just, you know, you're going to have to manage your gun ammo. But anyways, that's for that. And then the final thing, my biggest tip is going to be using Dead Silence comboed with Amplify. Unbeatable. You cannot hear yourself at all. Nobody else can hear you, and everybody else is twice as loud. You put your headphones on, it's like having a permanent UAV. Now, some people are kind of quiet, and I noticed that in some situations I didn't actually hear the guy, so don't solely focus on the audio, but use it as an extra thing. If you've got, I've gotten familiar with using headphones over the past, you know, 2 Call of Duties, and having that is such an advantage, especially in this game. Previous Call of Duties, especially Black Ops 2, they really took out a lot of the footstep, being able to hear people, but in this one, it is back and with a vengeance. This was especially helpful to me in the gameplay because, like I was talking about at the very beginning, I was staying much more defensive towards the end. I was staying in this same area, locking this down. Now, this is a common strategy, locking down an area, but the thing is, with that Dead Silence, with them being amplified, I knew that if they were on kind of a solid surface, they would be on the 2nd floor. They were by me. If they were in water, they were on the ground floor. So that distinguished it right there where they were going to kind of be. So for the long kill streaks, I think you're really going to want to have the sound horn capability. Obviously, that's strong. The stalker perk with the focus, both of those being strong because you can dodge people by strafing bullets or, you know, get your aim on sight sooner. And if you are aim on sight at the same time that you both hit, if you've got focus, you're going to win that gunfight. So a lot of different important things, but sleight of hand I think is the biggest variable. Now here's my actual class setup. As you can see, running with the suppressor, which is definitely mandatory, but that second attachment is actually a grip instead. Now this gives me a little bit longer range capability. I really like that aspect, especially on a map like this. That's why I actually chose it. But the sleight of hand makes it a good variable because if I am going to be using that, then that allows me to keep my ammo ready at all times. I can get a reload, get back into combat quickly, or I could also use the extended mags with sleight of hand. Same thing, but even faster if I'm going to be more aggressive. Or I could even run that with scavenger instead, or quick draw. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with that perk. But like I said, those other ones I think are going to be a good keystone. And with the suppressor, keeping off the radar, you know, off the grid could be helpful, but in my opinion, it's really not that effective. You're much better off staying off the map with just the suppressor. So anyways, guys, there it is, rounding it off with a 53-6 final score. Did get 3 captures, a couple defends in there as well. If you enjoyed the gameplay, that KEM strike, my tips, tricks, the commentary, be sure to let me know, guys, with a like, rating, a comment. If you want to hear me talk about maybe Battlefield 4 thoughts, some more information about CoD, maybe the kill streaks, just my general thoughts on anything, be sure to let me know in those comments down below. I definitely read through all those. Previous video, my most recent And We Are Live episode, and the recommended back in those random Battlefield 3 lobbies. Anyways, guys, that's it for me today. This is StoneMountain64 signing out. As always, see you guys next video.